Magandang hapon mga ka-Biyaya. Nandito po kami ngayon para magkaroon ng isang conversation with Claire and Michelle. Sila po ay taga Cats of BGC. Claire started the rescuing of kittens and cats in BGC around 2010 on her own. And then Michelle joined the bandwagon, and from that effort, that love for community animals, nagiging silang 100 plus volunteers. Itong 100 plus na volunteers ay inaasikaso yung mga kailangan ng mga stray cats po in particular. Now, ibahin natin po yung tawag natin na stray cats. Tawagan na lang po namin na community cats. Ano po yung community? Ang community ay nabubuo ng hindi lang tao pero mga hayop. Yes po, yun ang community. At sila din ay part of this evolution po in creating community cats. Nakikita po namin lahat, no, sa Cats of BGC, Cats of Legazpi Village, Cats of Manila, Cats of Taguig. The number is growing and it is really, really very heartwarming to see. Now, meron din pong, paano kong masabi, evolution of the spiritual side of rescuing, of feeding, of TNVR, trap, neuter, vaccinate, return, of making kapon, the community cats. Pwede kayong ma-inspire po dito. Meron po silang ginagawa at hindi lang po sila nagko-complain. Meron po silang solusyon. At baka po ma-inspire din kayo na sa area ninyo, sa lugar ninyo, pwede nyo rin matulong ang aming campaign, Stray Free, Rabies Free Philippines 2030, by addressing the population growth of community animals or street-dwelling animals. I hope po you enjoy these podcats kasi sa totoo lang po, makikita nyo talaga ang buhay ng isang rescuer, ang buhay ng isang nagfe-feed, at ang buhay ng anong naibibigay nila na galing sa puso. Ma-inspire po sana kayo. Maraming salamat. Magandang hapon mga ka-Biyaya. Again, another episode with some of my favorite people, Cats of BGC. That's Claire and Michelle. They'll give you the lowdown about Cats of BGC. A huge job. We've been working a couple of years together. We help them with their TNVR and some of their rescues, and their occasional dogs. And let them tell you the history. So, Claire, tell me. You started when, and then when did Michelle start?
I started helping cats doing TMVR in BGC back in 2011 or 2012, initially with Cara. And then we started the page in 2017, and Michelle joined us in, I think, 2019.
I started feeding with Cara as well, 2018.
Yeah. And then she joined the page, and Michelle does a lot of screening for us for the...
Yeah, I know. Michelle's brilliant for the adoptions.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cats of BGC feeds, does TNVR, occasionally rescues cats in need. I say occasionally because people tend to take advantage of that. So they are not a shelter. not a shelter. And you do adoptions and you do merchandise.
Yeah.
How to raise money, you see? So, Claire, let's start with you. How did you start? Why did you start? What was the impetus?
I've always been a cat lover. So I had my first cat when I was 3 years old, or at least my parents told me that it was my cat because my brother already had a guinea pig. So they told me it was my cat. Of course, it was not. It was the parents taking care of it. But I've always been a cat lover. So when I came to the Philippines and I would see how people would tell me, don't touch any cat. They're all strays. They've all got rescues. Nobody treated them like a pet. Most people didn't have cats as pets. Then I thought, well, I'll help out these few that were near me. And of course you see more and more and more. So one day you're feeding a few, next day you're feeding a few more. And then after that I started getting involved with the TMVR when I met somebody else who was a neighbor of mine who was doing it within our condo building. And then that expanded outside of our condo building to BGC as BGC was being built.
Yeah, because the BGC was just being built that time,
Yes.
2011.
Yeah, BGC, I arrived here before that, so I saw BGC growing and growing. So when we set ourselves up as Cats of BGC, we didn't have any idea how big it was going to become.
And it's
So
still growing.
It's still growing, and we cover all of regular BGC plus Uptown BGC. We don't cover the McKinley Hill. We have friends called Cats of McKinley who are covering that area for us.
Yeah. So aside from that, you also bring them to, I just remembered now, vets.
Yes, we feed, we foster as many as we can in our own condos, and we try to find other people to foster. We fundraise to try and pay our bills as much as we can. We do adoptions, but basically we are a community cat care group. We care for the cats outside in the community. We are not a shelter, as you mentioned. We don't have a place where you can just come and drop off your cats that you can't home yourself. But we do try to help people to find other ways to home their cats and give them the better sites where they can actually post them as well if they're not anywhere near us.
So how would you, most people don't understand feral, stray, community cat. Could you run us down that?
Well, a feral cat, to me, a feral cat is one that really has never known humans. It grew up in a colony. It has not had a human association and contact at an early age, which is what is required for a cat to become friendly with humans. It's very hard to do after the first few months of life. A stray cat or a community cat, we call them community cats because in BGC we find that many of our cats already arrive very friendly. We're not making them friendly, they actually arrive very friendly.
There's the key word, arrive.
Yes.
So they're originally not from BGC.
They're not from BGC because we have been spaying and neutering for more than a decade already. So we know that we are not getting ones born on the street unless somebody brings a pregnant one or brings the kittens.
In other words, dumping, abandonment,
Yes.
depends on how you wanna,
Yeah.
what kind of word you want to use.
Yes.
More
So-
abrasive word.
Yes. So strays are cats that have technically no owners. We call ours community cats because we're taking care of them, and they're all very, very friendly and mostly very adoptable.
Yeah. I think, I don't have the numbers. It's hard to keep up, but I think between you've done with Cara and with us, it's I think we've hit about 1,000.
I think over the years probably more than that. So
I mean just with us, but
Yes.
with Cara, I can
Yeah.
imagine still some more.
Yeah.
Right. And let's just do the numbers. For every one cat that is not fixed, there's a number, right? How they multiply.
Yes.
So in 2 years, the one cat can become 200 something, right?
Yeah, I think if you just take the average that say there's 4 kittens and 2 are going to be female, so after 6 months the mother's given birth the second time and the 2 female kittens are already ready to give birth. within 6 months, and they can get pregnant. So, and then they say if each of those has 4 kittens and 2 of them are females, obviously within the first year you've already got 3 or 4 pregnancies by the mom, 2 by the first litter of girls, and then more by the second litter. So you can see
Somebody
how
ran the numbers. It's like 200 something.
yeah, we have a graphic actually in one of our presentations. I just can't remember the number.
Yeah, maybe you can give us that link,
Yeah.
and then we can link it in the comment section.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's posted on our website.
On your website.
CatsofBGC.com. That deck that we used to present for BGC last year.
So
Yeah.
what's your website?
CatsofBGC.com.
Catsbgc.com. Okay, great. So community. When you use the word community, all kinds of good and bad things come from that. So let's start with the more difficult things. What are your challenges?
Our challenges are our 2 main challenges are fundraising, because we have to pay for a lot of spay and neuter. We think we've done them all, and then we turn around and every weekend there's more. So that's linked directly to our second challenge, which is pet abandonment. And they are mostly pets, not ferals, that are being abandoned in BGC.
Yeah, I mean, I want to point this out. Some of the cats that personally I've caught for Claire and Michelle. What's that? A blue Russian?
Yeah, it's a Russian blue.
A Russian blue.
That's our second.
That's your second. And I remember it was a very interesting. We went back twice. Your husband was there. We had to trap the cat. The cat was terrified. It was beside this, what's the name of that building?
Maybank Arts Center.
Yeah.
Art Center. Maybank.
Yes.
Maybank Art Center. And then we've had a few
Siamese.
Siamese. I still have Mona. Yeah,
We have
and Rocket
Rina.
we had adopted last weekend.
And Dana's still there.
Dana, yeah.
Still got Simon, who's half Siamese. We've also had Persians that was dumped in its own carrier late night. And he was all matted and in horrible condition, but he was homed as well. That was a couple of years ago now. Beautiful Persian cat. We've even seen a Sphinx many years ago.
Wow. And this is for sure not that they escape.
No.
No. We even post them to try and find homes, but for the most part, other people who spot them, they say, "Have you lost your cat?" Nobody ever replies because they haven't lost their cat. This is a cat they've moved or they've let it go because they want to do something more, travel or something.
Yeah, it happens quite a lot. Also, a few exotics that have a lot of issues.
Yeah.
So it's just lucky that a few people have taken them on. The people who saw them first said, "Okay, we're deciding to help this one and keep it because we haven't found anyone who was coming up to be the owner or willing to do everything that this cat needs to be healthy again." So,
Yeah. I think it becomes kinda that's for you.
yeah.
I think it becomes quite difficult. I was on a conversation today, and it's been a conversation that's been going on since March. And it's a German guy. He lives down south. And with his community. And his community doesn't understand TNVR. They're trying. Anyway, it's a big mess. And today, being Filipino, I was like, and him German. Then something really bad happened a couple of weeks ago. And he called me and I said, "Okay, let me try to help you." And he told me, "You know that saying, Rina, right?" He speaks really good English. I said, "What's the saying?" And he says, "No good deed goes unpunished."
Well, yeah, that is a famous saying.
And don't you feel that?
Yeah, we feel that definitely.
Every day.
Every day, several times during the day.
Yeah.
No good deed goes unpunished. And And today we were talking, and we're gonna try to set up a meeting with his community and and I'm here, I'm like, I am not that kind of person. I don't like to talk to too many humans, right? But okay, for the cats, I will. For the stray dogs, I will, right? And so we were discussing, and I said, we're so religious as a country. Some people not only say the rosary every day, they go to mass every day. And if they could go twice a day, they would, right? Yet, they don't give a damn about the cats or the strays. And then when you think about it biblically, so who did Noah save? Did he save the humans? He saved the darn animals. Right? And where was Jesus born? In a manger with animals. Because he was turned away by humans. And this is what actually, really, sometimes, it's like, what is it? Are we practicing, well, there's that famous Christian saying, they will know we are Christians by our love. So where's the love? Sorry, I'm a little bit frustrated because it's like that. You feel like you're swimming upstream.
Yes.
All the time.
Yep.
And there's just too many things. And another cat group person said, he calls me Tita Rina. And he says, Tita Rina, pikit mata. We just need to close our eyes sometimes. I said, yes, that's true. But even closing your eyes, if you're a person who cares, takes a lot of energy. Because certain imprints in the eyes and in the back of the head stay with you.
I can close my eyes, but I can't close my ears. I still hear them.
Yeah. So this is, and I really wanted to share this with, because there's so much about animal awareness, animal consciousness, and there's a lot of hypocrisy in between. So I wanted to talk to you because you're the people on the ground.
Yeah.
You fundraise, you find ways to pay for things. I mean, the entire Biyaya is to be able to support, to have extra money to do what we do, which we still don't have. But anyway, it's still money out. But it's a way to reach out, because I feel like maybe the Philippines is such a can be a difficult country to live in. You have to make pikit mata. You need to close your eyes or ignore so much around you just to be able to survive. So the caring comes at a huge cost.
Yeah, it is. And I know other people who have said within our group, I'm sorry, I can't listen to the group chats anymore.
Yeah.
There's too much stress. I'm getting anxiety attacks looking at all the cats that need help, and knowing that I just can't do it all. So they actually had to get out. They said, we're still here. I'm still here. I'm still doing fostering for you.
The feeding as well.
And I'll still do the feeding. I just don't want to see all those pictures of injured cats and things like that.
I'm glad you bring that up. I'm off social media.
Yeah.
Because I get my personal
Yeah.
200-300 messages a day.
Yeah.
And then Sandra over there, and we had to hire somebody else, and thank you for joining us, because we can't keep up with the messages, and then people get pissed off. There's 600 messages a day, because it's not just we're not just a sanctuary. We don't just have adoptions. We have 3 clinics. We have DNVR.
Yeah.
We get 600 messages minimum a day. I get 200-300 personal, and you can't.
Yeah.
And then they get upset when you can't help them, and it's 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Wow.
Been there.
It's 2:00 in the morning. What do we do, right? And the thing is, it's good if you can sleep. I can't. So I go. That's why it's just like, shut it off. Because one night I found myself and watching the sunrise.
Yeah.
Because I was waiting, looking, this and that. Then I saw so much of Manila. I actually went I ended up to Balintawak, for heaven's sake. And I got stuck behind garbage trucks. Because at around 4 o'clock in the morning, the garbage trucks come and these like a flood of people coming to throw their garbage into the garbage truck. And so I got stuck, and it was a very narrow street. And I was like, I never saw this before. I would have never imagined this before. But because I'm doing what I'm doing, I get to see what's on the ground. And it's like, you're an idiot, Rina. I mean, hello, you know. And I already had some sort of sense of many things, but at that point I was like, I live in Disneyland compared to so many people.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so let's talk about the happy stuff. What's the happy stuff? Adoptions.
Adoptions are very happy. Michelle should talk about adoptions. She does a lot of screening.
Yeah.
So Liale, let's talk about the screening. You're scary to be screened by.
Why?
Why? No. Because I remember, who was it? We did 1 or 2, and you asked me to join because I was fostering the cat. And I was like, huh?
Am I?
So, no. It's just like, whoa. Okay, no, but only because I wasn't used to it. I'm not an in-your-face person, but now because of this, in your face.
Because sometimes you really have to be because
Okay, let's go.
we've put in so much work, so much literal blood, sweat, and tears, and money into getting a cat that's like dying outside to be healthy enough for adoption. So we really have to be sure that the person who gets the cat will do more than what we have done. So we ask a lot of questions, but most of the people who are not really serious about taking care of a cat, like it's their family member, do drop out. And with us, it's no harm, no foul. We're okay with it, since we do want to find the right one, the right match. So sometimes it takes more than 3 interviews, but it's okay as long as
the time you put into it. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's-
this Michelle,
it's a lot. Yeah,
I
it's a
will
lot
give
of
you a
time.
star. You know, as a kid, the star sticker. You know, you were a good girl. You really, I mean, I was like floored. I learned so much from you.
Our process is really just, we ask people to sign up on our little Zoom, on our Google form. The link is in most of our posts about cats, but it's also there on our website. It's there at the top of the Instagram. So, and it's literally like a 5-minute form to fill out.
Yeah.
And it just asks some very, very top-line basic questions that just gives us an idea of what you're looking for, and then gives us some idea of how much cat care experience you might have had already. And then we can have a conversation on Zoom for like 30 or 40 minutes where the adopter is at their own home, so we can see if they've got other pets, the condition of their pets, and how they are kept. And then we just ask questions, and we don't have a very strict form or contracts or things like that, because we just want to get a feel and a sense for the people's level of commitment and level of knowledge about cat care. And we're very happy to keep in touch with them. If they're new owners, we tell them as much as they need to know. We tell them they can come back to us after the adoption, and we will still give them advice. We give them advice on vet care, give them advice on settling in the cat, we give them advice on what they should buy in order to prepare their home. And sometimes you just have to, you say to people, if they haven't filled in the form, is there anybody in your house that has an allergy? Have you actually agreed this with everybody who's in your household? We do get a few students who try to slip this past mommy and daddy sometimes. And we're like, no, we have to interview you with your mom or your dad, because we want to make sure that there is a parent who is going to be probably ultimately responsible for the funding, that actually knows what you're doing before you bring home a new member of your family. So that's what we do. It's just an interview. We don't have any fees for adoption.
Or paperwork, too
or
much
paperwork.
paperwork.
No.
Some people have mentioned that others would have them sign a contract, send ID, government ID, and whatever. But
We do that.
yeah,
We do that because we've had some challenges.
yeah.
We're just picky up front.
Yeah, up
we try to
front.
find the best one. So
Yeah.
we've actually not had too many challenges. We've had occasional
Returns.
adoption returns because somebody has developed an allergy even though they've had a cat before. And in some cases, we just actually switched the cat. They chose one that was a little bit fluffier, pure breed, and we said get a puspin that has like
Domestic.
flatter, smoother fur, and they've been fine with it. So
Yeah, and sometimes people want a kitten but realize that they can't actually deal with it, so switch out with an older, still a kitten technically, but an older one, because some kittens are like too young to be away from mom, even if they have been weaned or almost 2 months
Yeah,
old.
they're still learning how to cat.
yes, how to be a
Yeah.
cat.
Yeah.
And we tell people that. We said, well, have you had a kitten before? You know, everybody wants a kitten and they think, oh, it's going to be great. It's like, have you had a kitten? I had one growing up. I'm like, that means your parents had one. Just like me. I thought it was my cat and I was 3 years old. Obviously, it wasn't my cat. I wasn't doing anything for it. So we try to convince those people, first timers, I know, if they really want to have a kitten, sure. We'd actually rather they had two, so that they actually learn how to be a cat by playing with each other and
Correct.
learn play boundaries of fighting, so that biting, etc. amongst themselves, that teaches them the boundaries, how not to bite too hard on humans. So we explain all of those things in our interview. We try to get somebody who wants a kitten to have two, unless they've already got a cat already, and then we try to ask them about the personality of their cat to see if we can find, if you've got a timid cat, can we find a slightly more confident one that will actually bring out the best in your cat? That's happened. You remember Marty?
Yeah.
Marty was a very nervous cat, but he was super clingy to his foster mom. So he became clingy to his new mom, and that actually changed her initial aloof black adult female cat into it's getting cuddles, I want some. So she actually became a lap cat due to the addition of the new one, and they became best friends. It took a while, but that's what happened within
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah, that's the thing. We also want people who will be patient with integrating the new cat with their current pets, because it's definitely not instantaneous most of the time. So we try to explain how to do that slowly, maybe feeding them apart but at the same time, and then move the bowls closer and closer until they're more comfortable with each other. Spend playtime with all of them together, so that would make integration into the new household faster most of the time. But with the prerequisite that all of the cats and dogs are spayed and neutered. That's our number one.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I think the interview where I was like, whoa, was not whoa in a bad way, but wow, she's definite. Was they had, I don't remember who that was, but they had another cat that was not
Yeah.
fixed, and you were like, nope, you can't adopt this cat until that cat gets fixed. And then I think we worked it out with Biyaya or whatever to get that cat fixed before you allowed them to
Yeah.
adopt the second cat.
And it almost ensures that both of them will accept each other if both are fixed. All of the pets are fixed, because it's nearly impossible for the resident cat who is not fixed to accept any new family member.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
just setting up yourself for disaster.
The one that I also remembered is Ocho, the black cat.
Yeah, he's with a lot.
He's
But
like 8, no? I saw the photos. The guy
Yeah.
still sends once in a while.
yeah, he has an
He
account.
lines them all out. And they're all...
Yeah, he has an account for all his dogs and
Instagram?
cats. Yeah, in Instagram.
Okay.
Cats of Freedom Place. Hi.
Cats of Freedom Place. Hi, Ocho.
Or Pets of Freedom Place. It's because it's like in Kalayaan, somewhere there.
Okay.
So, but
That's
even
one of the nice things. We've had quite a few people who've come and adopted their first cats from us, and they've gone on to become rescuers.
Yeah.
Or I think one even set up a cat clinic.
Wow,
She had her
yes.
first cat from us, from down in BGC.
Ah, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember.
But we've had several who've gone on to rescue. The one who rescued a tripod now has multiple cats. One who rescued a ginger cat, they've just set up their own new group.
Yeah, I think it happens that way, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the good part, is at least people become more aware of the situation, and they realize that they do have agency to do something about it themselves, instead of just reporting and then letting other people do it. Everyone can do something.
Yeah, that's the other problem, the reporting. A lot of the messages are about reporting.
Yeah.
I mean,
Please come and help. That's it. Yeah.
Well, we always say if the cat is sick, it really needs to go to the vet. And then, of course, we share all the vets we think are still open at that time, that are nearby their place. But yeah, they really do have to do something to help.
Did you ever catch Cash? Cash, the one in the Indian restaurant, and it was walking on in BGC.
Is it the
Kashmir? Kashmir. I don't know. I just
That's
remember
in one.
Cash because it was
Yeah, Cash was a calico.
Calico. Yes.
I think we did, because she's not longer there.
Okay.
I
Didn't
think
she have two names? She was in Kashmir and
Kashmir, and then yes.
Pikara.
Yes.
We were
And I think
able,
she was adopted.
Was it? She was
Adopted
adopted.
by-
Wasn't your husband or somebody bitten by her when they were trying to put her in the carrier? I don't know. I
Yeah.
just remember
yeah, we were
because
with you. Yeah.
I just remember it's a funny scene. You get into these really funny scenes because we were at Kashmir, and the manager, I think, is like, "Cash, halika na, Cash." It was really like, and there was Cash walking across the glass
roof.
roof
Yeah.
to the other side, and I was like, wow, it's stuck in my mind. And then I left the,
And she carried her kittens across there too.
oh my god, and I left the trap, and it was another cat that got
got
caught.
in. Yeah, one that was. Yeah, it all happens. At least, it wasn't wasted because that male was not fixed yet.
Yeah.
So at least we got one.
You got one, yeah, and eventually you got her too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
even the one that was many years ago, so many people were reporting this cat that actually during the building of the stock exchange in BGC, this cat had come into some kind of, something had fallen on her. She had multiple breaks to her legs and pelvis and everything, and she was like limping around badly. She couldn't be fixed anymore because she was too scared to come for a while, so the bones had already started to set badly. So she was literally had the worst limp you've seen. And people were, Uncle Wawa, can't you find her a home? Can you help this cat? Every day we had to reply with the same messages saying, we can't do any more. She's already had 6 months of cage rest.
And she can actually climb
and she can
trees.
actually climb trees and get down again.
With that limb. Yeah.
But she was actually adopted too.
Yeah, she was
yes.
adopted.
And those people also rescue.
Yeah, they have their own IG account for their rescues now.
That's incredible. So I mean, it helps that there's a lot of much more awareness.
Yeah. I mean, we recently homed 2 blind cats, Salvatore that came here
Yes,
for a lot of
yes,
help.
yes.
And then somebody else who signed up for Salvatore took our other blind cat, Sweetie. And they've just been sending updates. Sweetie can play fetch with the ball and bring it back. As long as the ball has a
Sound.
little tingly sound in it, she can find it.
I have one, Eman, and he does the treadmill.
Uh-huh.
And yesterday, I brought home another one. I have to make her, she's skinny, she's scrawny, she looks a mess. So I'll fatten her up, make her guapa for adoption. But last weekend we also adopted out a white blind cat. Yeah. So maybe they have an advantage after all.
They can do almost everything that a sighted
Correct.
cat can do.
Yeah.
So no, they've actually become very good, integrated well, into their families, both of
Yeah.
them. And they were both went to first timers, I think, in the end.
No, Salvatore went to a house that already had
Oh, they already
a
have,
cat, but Sweetie, yeah, I think she's the only cat now so far.
Mhm.
Hello, we're going to give you if you want to another
Hello,
buddy.
We have friends for Sweetie.
Yeah.
They really need even if people tell me, oh, it's a solitary cat, no such thing.
Oh,
they
I
are
have one, a tortie that hates every other cat.
yeah, but as long as she can see,
Yeah.
because I'm not so that's a theory I'd like to check, So if they're really alone, they start to meow, they're not happy. They don't want to touch the next cat. They might not play, but if they can see them, it's okay. I have one, Sprout. She stays on top of the closet the whole time. She's like surveying the scene. But when she's alone, she cries. Because I travel with her to Baguio.
Right.
And when she's alone and she's the only cat, she's not happy.
And she wants to be the boss.
She wants to be like Lord, looking over everybody, right? The queen.
Yeah. We were at Katarungan earlier, and Lucinda was exactly like that. Top
Yeah.
shelf, like looking over
Oh.
everything, what's happening, all
Yeah.
the cats, all the humans going in and out.
Yeah, Lucinda's story is very funny. She was rescued off the street, got fixed by Cara, escaped. 7 years later, when we're renovating Katarungan, she turns up. And anyway, so we start publishing about her, we post about her. And the guy comes and says, that's my cat. And we're like, and he shows us photos. It's really his cat. But it's like, I just said, okay, you decide whether, she's been with us already. And she's been in this location because Lola in front of us was taking care of her for 7 years. Are you going to take her again now? And he said, no, you could keep her. And then there was one day that the electricals blew up on the electrical pole in Katarungan, and she freaked out. She was missing for 3 or 4 days, and I was like going around, and then finally found her in the next street, and I was like talking to her and like, you're crazy, why'd you leave us, So now she's always inside. We don't let her outside anymore, and we're so afraid because even if it's such a narrow street, people drive so fast. So what are your... So I'm thinking about, how many stories we have. Claire. Claire and I climbed the ladder to go up onto the roof of High Street.
Yeah. Shh, we weren't supposed to be up there.
and we got
Illegal climbing.
and we got permission from the guard, right? But I remember the guard's face. And she's always in a dress. And she was in a dress, like ladder, as in, And we caught the cat. The cat was stuck up there, black cat.
Black cat, yeah.
Was stuck up there for how long?
About 8 days.
8 days, not eating. And then when people were feeding in the bottom,
It was crying down at us.
asking for food. And we're like, until finally, we convinced the guard, right?
Yeah.
But the look on that guard's face,
As we climbed up there.
he was like, these women are mad. Absolutely. I could say of a white woman. White women, they're mad. They're crazy. Right? Yeah, so what other stories do you have?
Oh, gosh.
I'm sure you have many. And human stories too.
Oh, I can't think of one. There's so many, but yeah, so many. I know we've had like triumphs and tribulations, you know.
Yeah.
There's the good ones, the good stories, like this beauty here, sweetheart here. She was a little dumped rescue, had to be bottle fed from the start. She's a beautiful heterochromic cat. And they go to their good homes, and that's all great. And then you have the ones you can't save. You try your hardest, but there's something underlyingly wrong with them. And even some that don't look like there's anything wrong with them, and then they fade away.
Yeah.
Little ones, because they shouldn't have been taken from their mom that early. So no matter how hard you try. But yeah, I know we have stories, good and bad.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
worst. The worst ones are like, they are pets, but when they get sick or when they need to go to a vet for treatment, they get thrown out. People don't, their owner, their family did not take them to a vet. Instead, they just left them
Abandon
outside.
them, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really the saddest, because first time you see them, they let you take them inside a cage, go to the vet, but the vet says,
It's too late.
yeah.
No, I've rescued a few of your broken leg ones, remember?
Yes, we had a few broken legs.
Because they're not used to being outside.
Yeah, we've come across cats that we've never seen before.
Yeah, first
we
time.
posted a few times. I'm like, it's already dead. Somebody has dumped this cat today. We know it wasn't there yesterday. We know every cat in that area. People think that they can just leave them and they'll just add and nobody will see the difference. But we know how many cats there are. We know all of them. They know us. So we know when it's new. And like, you see a cat and it's already been killed on the
Within
road
the
because
day.
somebody has dumped it and it has no street smarts. It's been in a home. So that happens, unfortunately. And we tell people, don't dump your cat. Try and find a home for it. And, I've tried, but I can't. I don't think you tried hard enough.
Yeah, some people don't try hard enough or don't know how. So maybe that's a video you can make.
Yeah, we send them answers about other places that they can post, and there are forms on those other pages saying, please use this format, please give us really good pictures. But those pages don't do the screening for them. They're trying to leave them in places where we have to do the screening. So I'm like, no, just learn to do the screening if you've got a lot of cats, and slowly get your numbers down. Spay and neuter, and get your numbers down to a level that you can actually take care of yourself.
Yeah, we tell them that they can use our form as a guide on how to secure a good home for their cat, because I think most of the relevant questions are there already. So they can do the screening themselves since they know the pet better than us. So.
How many are you, volunteers?
Well, in the page we have over 100 volunteers, but they're mostly feeding, not doing other things. But we have fosterers who are just doing fostering. We have people like us who are doing feeding, fostering,
Everything.
fundraising, and managing the page.
Standing on your head.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. So we have people who are willing to do, whatever help they can give within their capacity, whether it's once a week to feed, that's fine. We just want them to be consistent about it.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of volunteers because we have 11 feeding groups all around BGC. So
11.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we only require once a week commitment for feeding.
Although most of the most committed people do more than once a week.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And they use their own cat food. We're not getting like donations from pet food suppliers. Occasionally, but not very often. So, and then we fundraise for the TMVR bills and the vet bills. Because the vet bills, we never know what we're going to be hit with. Because you pick up a cat, it doesn't look too bad, and it turns out to be worse, than you expected. So, yeah, that's always the big one.
Yeah. And do you get sponsors as well?
We haven't gotten that many sponsors. We do have one regular sponsor, one personal sponsor, and one sponsor. He's sponsoring personally, but he is a business owner
In
BGC, and he really loves cats. So we're very, very grateful for that help. We won't say who it is. Not
I think
yet.
I know who
You
it
might
is, yeah.
get a lot of
might get
messages
some
also.
demands. We don't
Yeah,
wanna do that.
yeah. there are a lot of cat groups all over the Metro Manila, and I'm seeing that it's starting to happen in other cities as well. Baguio, I've seen Davao, Cagayan de Oro, so
it's nice to see it expanding. I think there's a few people who just think it's easy, though. Never think it's easy to set up your own cat group. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, and it's both financially and physically and emotionally draining.
Yeah.
So you have to be in it for the long run. When we set up, we didn't even solicit any donations for the first 3 years. So we were going to do 1 year, but then I think pandemic hit us hard. So we ended up with a few years where we didn't get any donations. We didn't even have any way to get them. So we were fosterers and feeders and volunteers were funding a lot.
Yeah. How would you see yourself moving forward? Or nothing? Because sometimes it's hard to think so far ahead.
Yeah.
Or to even plan sometimes. But now you have a booth almost every Sundays, Sundays. Yeah.
But we don't know how long that will continue, because that's maybe up towards Christmas, but we don't know about what's happening next year.
Yeah, so that's on 5th Street, Saturdays and Sundays. What's it called?
It's called the Origin Fair. It's at My Street High Street, BGC, and it's outside between the Shangri-La entrance on 5th Street and Shake Shack and the Rustan's Mall on 5th and 5th Avenue.
Yeah. I was just thinking of the stuff we wouldn't have never met if it was not for the
TMVR.
Yeah.
TMVR, and even DIP is so interesting for me.
Interesting, yes.
Yeah, no, I know. Speaks flawless English. Is he still homeless or no?
No, he has a roof over his head.
Now, but he didn't then for the longest time, and he would help you just for helping you, right?
Yeah. That's why I said everyone can literally do something, even.
Yeah, this man is a homeless man. He speaks perfect English, sometimes with an accent when I hear him talking to you, like American accent. And I don't know.
Yeah, he's picked up quite a few cats and tried to help them. Some of them have survived. Some of them we've owned. Right now he has 2 dogs.
Yeah, because I remember, I don't know. We were looking for kittens in one of the park, and in his bag, this 1 or 2 kittens came out like that. I was like, ah! And then he had his what do you call that kind of hair?
Yes,
He's more clean cut now, professional.
More clean cut.
He
had like Bob Marley hair, right?
Yeah.
But now,
All matted and stuff
now
like that.
It's going to
Big
work.
beard,
So, yeah.
Because I remember someone telling me, "Oh, Rina, why are you talking to that guy?" And it's like, he's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a nice guy.
He helps us feed every night, so he comes late night because I don't always want to go further out on my own.
Yeah,
Although I have done. I've been all the way to Santa Ana at 1 o'clock in the morning trying to find a cat. So people and the rest of the group are going like, "You're going on your own?" I'm like,
No,
yes.
because I remember he told me that night we were looking for the kittens, and then he said he saw a dog that was run over, and I was gonna go and look for the dog, and then he said something to me that really struck me, and he goes, "Oh, you might also see the woman who gave birth underneath the bridge last night." I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I said, "And they tied the umbilical cord and cut it with a knife." I was like, "What? What?" Near Kalayaan.
Yes, Kalayaan Bridge.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Homeless.
yeah,
family.
and I don't know if you ever feel this way, but sometimes you see the humans and you're like, I want to rescue them too, but you can't, because
you
it's
can't do everything.
complicated.
Yeah,
It's
very
complicated.
Yeah, we have had quite a few people ask us if they can find us, if they can rehome us when they see the homes that some of the cats go to. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, it's got its own iPad. Can you rehome me too?
Yeah. No.
Or can you spay
Can I
and
be adopted?
Yeah.
Or can you spay and neuter my neighbors so they will behave? That's one of the other comments. But yeah, there's a human component as well. Because, of course, people are sometimes made to choose between caring for a family member or their pet. We've heard that quite a few times with our adoption interviews. That's why they weren't able to get their pet to a vet because they were dealing with expenses for a family member, and that's why how their cat died, because we usually ask about what happened to your previous pet, because we would want that people who get a cat from us would get them
Do you have
healthcare
that on
as
your
well.
form? Do you have that on your form, the financial capability?
Well, we ask that during the interview
Ah, okay.
because it literally is almost like paying for a kid or a baby, for the medications and for confinement, because you're paying also a doctor, also hospital grade equipment, and the medicine are usually sometimes the same, and they compute that the same way. Sometimes I compare the cat's bill that I get and the St. Luke's or whatever bill for a human that I get. Sometimes the cat bill is bigger. Depending on the situation, of course. But yeah, usually the rates are the same because we're dealing with the same material stuff, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing that people don't realize, this material stuff. And there's some veterinary products that are expensive. I find 4-in-1 expensive.
Yes, it is.
Compared to the dog.
Right.
The dog is much less. And but the other thing that I also noticed, because we have a clinic, is that people don't respect vets as much as they do human doctors.
Yeah.
And the veterinarians study us hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
they have
the
patients that cannot tell them what's wrong.
what's wrong,
Yeah.
and the anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just lost a vet
No.
last week because a client went berserk. A second client went berserk, and you brought the animal too late.
Yeah.
What can we do,
Mhm.
right? But you need somebody to blame,
Yeah.
right? And I still say no vet will ever want, just like no human doctor will ever want any harm to come to their pets, to their clients, to their patients, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah. What reaction do you get? Because some clinics are less open to strays than other clinics.
Yeah, we've had to work with some clinics because a few of them didn't want them. They're happy to treat them, but not always happy to board them. They're like, oh no, we don't want to board them, take them home and foster them, which is not always possible if they need IVs and they need things.
Yeah.
And plus the cat doesn't know us, or it's in
Yeah.
pain and it's acting badly. And we also don't have space. We're not allowed to do it in our, to take home more to our condos or to our homes. So yeah, a few clinics we've had to talk very nicely to encourage them to let us have the cat boarded, and we'll pay for we'll give it broadline. We have TMVR to them if it's one that's been there for a while. If it's one that we don't know, we can't tell them anything about it. It's one
Yeah.
that's just arrived, just been abandoned. So for the most part, we can tell them, oh, okay, it's friendly, and if it needs flea repellent, we give it flea repellent, so it's not spreading anything in your area. But we'll do the CBC, we'll see if it's healthy. But if there's something that it needs and it's and maybe it isn't easy to take care of, some vets can't take it. They haven't got enough space. So I know they say we've got kittens in our confinement area, so we can't take in the sick one. So, but we have to respect that because
Yes.
there's only a limited amount of space. But sometimes we have to medicate cats outside on the street.
Yeah.
We've done that very often.
Yeah, I know.
Because there's no other choice. What are we going to do? Either leave it to get worse or just try and give it as often as we can. We can't do 3 times a day because we can't even find it 3 times a day.
Yeah. Maybe once a day is doable. Yeah.
But we do that, and for the most part, they do get better. So, yeah. But with the vets, I mean, you've taken in so many for us, and Cara has taken in some, and most of the vets that we're dealing with, they know us now.
Yeah, but you had to build
We
that
had to
up.
build that
you build the
relationship.
trust that you won't run out on the bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to of course,
Yeah.
keep fundraising to pay the bills.
Yeah. I think sometimes people see us posting the merchandise and things that we're selling now, but they're thinking, okay, now they've got lots of money, but that's not the case. We're still back paying bills
Yeah.
that we already have, let alone
Yeah.
the new ones that keep arriving.
Yeah.
And the ongoing TMVR, which we have to do 40 to 50 every month in order to just keep on top of it. And we're like,
I
we
don't
have
think you're
40 to
keeping
50.
I don't think you're keeping on top of it.
No,
Yeah.
not
No.
really.
No, I mean,
But-
I think you're doing your best, but every weekend there's
Yeah, there's more every weekend. I mean, all of the Cats Off group posts that same. It's like the Monday blues for all cat groups. It's like there's another batch of kitten, dead cat. So yeah, I mean it's the same for everyone. I think.
Yeah.
I mean it's like it. I know it's been going on forever, but it's just that we have more avenues to raise awareness and reporting that these come to light. So, yeah, maybe not just BGC. It's been happening
it's
for
all over.
generations, but yeah, at least now we have some
I think it's
Education.
much better now, no?
getting on that. You should really
Awareness.
spay and neuter.
Yeah.
If you don't want kittens, spay and neuter your pets. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, it's funny because yesterday when I told you that I was in front of Katarungan and I just in less than an hour picked up 14 cats, kittens and cats, and one of them is in a parking lot, and he's a kind attendant. I mean, he's just how many houses away from us, and I said, we've been seeing your cats. Can we just get them already? Because, they're multiplying. And he goes, we don't have money. I said, but I already told you 2 years ago, you don't need money. We will do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because in Mandaluyong, it's free,
Mm-hmm.
right? As long as you get it done. And, but I think it's like, maybe there's just too much.
Yeah, at least
We do
yeah.
come across people who say, oh, but I want them to be mummy ones. And we try to
No.
convince them that is not necessary because, they're not going to miss what they don't know.
Yeah, and then they haven't had babies yet.
Yes,
At least
yeah.
one.
Yes.
And da.
Yeah, so we try to convince them okay, so then do you want the kittens to all be mummy ones after that as well? Oh no, we'll probably find homes for them. Are you going to spay and neuter them, or are they going to go to people who want them to be mummy ones as well? Come on, stop the cycle. You've got to stop
Yeah.
the cycle. There's no need to have any more cats and kittens. In other countries, they've actually, breeding is very licensed,
Yes.
and only certain people are allowed to breed. Or bred cats, especially pure breeds, have to be kept within strict guidelines, and the bloodlines have to be kept pure. You cannot mate within the family too closely, and they have to register them. And if they're not that, then they are not a pure breed. And with the puspins, even some countries are putting rules about how many you can have. Australia is very strict.
Well, Australia is very strict because their wildlife is at stake right now, and they're actually euthanizing them, shooting them, because they have certain geckos and some lizards or whatever that are birds that are
Native
becoming
birds.
extinct, and they're blaming it on stray cats.
Yeah. Because they weren't indigenous to Australia. Well, they spread from across the world centuries ago.
I don't think any, except maybe Egypt.
Yeah.
Domestic short-haired.
Mhm.
And then you maybe Norwegian forest. But I saw a documentary where they said they eventually went on to ships, and they were kept on ships because of the the rats.
Yeah.
Yeah, ship cats.
Ship
First, that's
cats.
how they got around the world in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at least wherever humans are, cats will be there. So you can't really take them out of your natural environment, because wherever there are people, there are rats, and there will be cats to get rid of them. So they're really important for our ecosystem.
Yeah.
Really part of our community.
I have to talk to this group I told you the morning to re-explain to them the vacuum effect, the and sometimes I find it hard to talk to these people because you already sense that no matter which way you present it,
Yeah.
it's not
No,
it's not acceptable. It's
Yeah.
not palatable, and it's just no,
Mhm.
right? But you've had, I think, progress in this.
We still keep trying, because every time somebody changes, even within groups we've already agreed
Yeah.
it with, we still have to go through the process of agreeing it again when we suddenly hear that the new person has got a
Yeah.
different opinion. So it's constant battle to try and have the cats be acceptable. And we need to know the dumping is not helping us. That's where the no good deed goes unpunished comes in, because we're being punished for the cats that we have helped. People are bringing more, which is actually against our advocacy, because then the property management may not be very happy with it because there's too many then.
And it's
So
actually
it's-
against the law.
It's against the law to
It's
do
against
it.
the law to abandon your pet.
But
Yeah, but-
relocating to just dump your
Yeah.
responsibility on somebody else and thinking that you've done a good thing because they can take care of it is
Yeah.
it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
No.
I remember somebody wanted us to get 6 dogs and I don't know how many cats. And and you're not willing to support. So it's like, what? What do you mean, right? Sometimes I've done that for an older lady whose husband was bedridden, but I had a live the other day because we had our 3rd or our 4th client. No, it's not client. Somebody who died and they left their cats and their dogs in their house, and their own relatives couldn't enter their house because of the dogs. So we came in, right? And I mean, people have to plan for pets just as much as they have to plan for their children.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So you call them fur babies because they're completely dependent on you for their
Yeah.
entire life. So
No, this one, they couldn't even enter the house, and the guy had committed suicide and was hanging.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I have those dogs, 2 dogs. We came in to get the dog, and so sometimes you're like, you're like, it's like you're like the police. You get to see so many things and
Yeah.
unimaginable things.
Yeah, we try to filter out as much as possible. If you see our page, it's always about shiny, happy people and the animals.
Same. I try as much as possible. Okay, this dog or this cat came in here, wish us luck, and
Yeah.
But
and-
never this, long stories. And some people say, how come you don't put any words? I said, I don't know. Aren't the photos enough?
Yeah.
Aren't the images in the video enough?
Yeah. We only try to post maybe once a month, not even.
Yeah. I mean, we don't want to post the really horrible pictures because some people see that pop up on their feed and they weren't
Yeah.
expecting it, and that's that
Remember
causes
Leonidas?
problems.
Yeah.
And Sylvester, remember Sylvester? Sylvester, who had his testicles zip tied and they were rotting away. It's terrible.
Or I have one of your guys. What did we end up?
Aga, the wobbly
Aga,
one.
who a nail
Yeah. A nail right into his brain.
right into his brain, and Doc Jordan was like, we can't pull the nail out because if we do, he'll die.
Yeah.
So he's like walking as if he's drunk, right?
Yeah.
Poor guy.
He's lucky to be alive.
He's lucky to be alive. But remember that in that same area were 3 different
Yeah.
tuxedos that were
Yeah.
harmed. So there's someone who needs help.
Yeah. And
Definitely.
Brosnan,
was
yes,
scolded.
yes.
First dumped, then scolded by somebody. Must
And
be a
in that
visitor from
same
high street.
area, we have that dog that was burned
Mm.
and survived eventually, but
Yeah.
lit on fire.
Oh.
Yeah, lit on fire.
Is that
Was-
the white
Yeah,
one?
the white one.
The one that I
Yes,
sent
yes.
Oh.
So there's somebody who's not well in that area. And that's what I was telling. So these are some of the things that we encounter. And that's when I got in touch with, Leonidas is when I got in touch with the police in BGC, security, because I said, it's going to be a kid next
Yeah.
or a human next
Mm-hmm.
because someone's not well. And we have to find out who it is.
Yeah. Our latest was Quentin.
Ah,
Yeah. He was allegedly bludgeoned by a blunt
Parkway.
blunt object along one of the parks. Yeah, he fought for 3 weeks. But
And then he didn't make it, but
And his sister was killed outright.
yeah,
3
bludgeoned.
others-
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
bludgeoned. And 3 others are. One has gone home.
yeah, 2
2
mommy.
have gone home. The mummy and one of the
One of
other
his
brothers has gone home.
brothers.
We got 1 girl and 1 boy left home.
Yeah.
But did you ever find out who that was?
No,
No
there
witnesses.
was a
No
witness who-
CCTV?
No, it didn't cover it. I don't think it was working. So,
Oh, that's the other thing. That happened to me. Estrella Street corner EDSA. CCTV wasn't working and somebody chopped the dog in half. Yeah.
yeah, those are the horrible things. We have to focus on all the ones we have saved.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
or
lot.
beautiful
So
cats.
do you have a number of that?
Oh, I need
Yeah.
to start. I mean, how far back do we go? We go back to just the start of the page, perhaps. But yeah, I don't.
I don't
know.
have. I can't even.
Yeah.
I'm too tired at night to
count.
to count and to say, oh, this one, this street, that. So Misty gets to do it, but I still do so many things that Misty is not
Yeah.
aware of, and then I forget to tell Misty, and
Yeah, so we have around like 20 to 40 TNVR cats a month and about 12 to 20 adoptions a month. So the minimum, usually around that time. But of course, there's still a lot out in the streets that would
Yeah.
love to have a home.
yeah, you have some
Yeah,
really
we just
sweet
don't
ones.
want. We don't want people to just take them. No, when they disappear, we don't know where they went. Or
Yeah,
what
so
happened
that's
to
the
them.
thing I wanted to also talk about because did Bow Wow get to find their cats?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or what's the story about that? Abet?
The second they didn't tell us that Vigor was missing for about 3 days. They thought he would come back home, but then when they messaged and said, "Can you help?" we posted that night, and later that night, there he is. He's shown up again. We already found. We think he was like shut in one of the buildings. Upstairs, that's what. So he was like dusty and a little bit scared and a little bit hungry, but he's settled back into his normal routine
Yeah.
now. And their second cat, Ice Tea, was adopted by one of the staff, so he's actually gone home now. So it's just Vigor there now. So he was found. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one of
okay.
the
Because
lucky ones.
that's the other thing. Even Carmine of Cats of Legazpi Village. That's the thing. Sometimes I can see there's an amount of pain when you've
Mhm.
been feeding a cat and it goes missing.
Yeah.
I mean, I lost 10 in Rockwell.
Right. Yeah.
Missing and 10 in one go.
Yeah.
And I kept going to Cara. I kept going everywhere to look for if they had been TNVR'd. Went to Makati, to the
City Pound of
City
Makati,
Pound,
because
and
usually it's the
yeah.
first thing you would think of,
and,
right?
and nothing. So I don't know what happened
Yeah.
there.
If people did that legally, they would end up in a pound. But unfortunately, we do know that some illegal catching has been going on with some pest control companies, and they are being commanded by their own property management to do that illegal thing. I mean, they're not actually sanctioned to deal with companion animals like cats and dogs. They're supposed to be only dealing with pests.
Well, that's the problem. No, cats are considered.
But no, in their mandate for their business, they shouldn't.
They shouldn't. No,
legally-
no, I know.
It
I
should
know.
be city vet.
Yeah, they're considered nuances.
Yeah. But when a cat goes missing, like I've lost 3 girls in High Street over a period of about 6 weeks, and one went, another one went, another one went, and we post and we ask for information. Even if you have given it a home, let us know. You know.
Right.
Has anybody ever replied?
Sometimes.
I think twice. Not replied, but somebody has like put the cat back
Oh.
once or twice,
Yeah.
and
once
some-
in Central Square
and once at High
and
Street.
once in High Street.
And so then occasionally we hear like people didn't know if our page existed. They've moved recently. They just thought they're strays, just like I did when I first arrived. And they thought, oh, it's a really sweet cat. I can give a cat a home, and that's fine. We just want to know where the cat has gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to do the process that way around, though. We'd rather know where the cat is gone, not spend 2 weeks hoping it's going to show up and then have to post and then wait for information.
Because there's anxiety
yeah,
with that
Yeah.
as well.
yeah. And other people, people don't realize how many other people know that same sweet
Yeah,
cat
and
and
they're-
they're asking us where
Yeah,
it is.
where is it? Where is it?
Yeah, and you know there are a lot of people who probably aren't your volunteers, but they
Yeah.
feed on
Yes,
the side.
there are. We have asked people to volunteer, but some would literally just say, I just want to do this
When
on
I
my
want to.
own when I want to, and then I don't want to join
Don't have a
any
schedule
group.
or
Yeah, or yeah, but we do clean up after them because, of course, the cats would be blamed by property management instead of the actual people doing the littering.
Yeah. No, so that's the other thing. When you do feed, you need to
Clean up as you go, please.
have
Important.
plates, clean up as you go. Because if you just put it on the
Yeah,
pavement and it doesn't get consumed,
Right.
especially the dry food.
yeah. And it rains.
And it rains, people have slipped
Slipped
and
on.
broken a leg, which is why there was a city vet that was very adamant and upset with feeders.
Mhm.
That one and leaving the pouches of
Used pouches all over the place. Yeah. But we also get people giving human food,
Yeah.
which we don't want them to do. I mean, because most human food here it has a lot of salt, sugar, garlic, onions, all of which are toxic to cats.
yeah.
So we would rather they didn't feed human food unless they were actually bringing some freshly cooked chicken from home or something that they didn't cook with anything.
Yeah.
So and just put it in the bowls, their own bowls, or bring a plate. Throw it away. Don't leave it everywhere. You know.
I think we've had this discussion also where I think I called you once and I said, I think you're having more dump cats because people see how well you take care of the animals. But then you said it's a catch-22
Yeah.
because you also get funding because of what you do.
Yeah.
And so you just have to manage.
Yeah.
We get some funding.
But yeah.
Most people many people actually think in BGC that it's done by BGC because the signs don't mention who the cat groups are or who the vets are. It just says volunteers. So people think that actually BGC is doing this and they're okay with it. I even had a heated discussion with somebody who was about to dump a kitten who insisted that BGC allows it.
Yeah. And
BGC does not allow dumping of cats. No city, no barangay, no village. It is against the law.
Nabag po sa batas ang pagtatapon ng mga alaga. I was saying it in Tagalog.
No, that's the thing. I guess it's open to interpretation because that's what you want to understand. It's convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we also want people to feed responsibly our community cats. The last cat that got discharged from the vet last Sunday was like literally overfed. He couldn't literally stand up because of his weight. Yeah, the cat we posted as rough. Yeah.
Yeah, he was found in the middle of the road at about 8 o'clock in the morning, and somebody put
Cones,
cones
traffic
around
cones
to stop him
around.
being run over. And then somebody
Because he
moved-
couldn't walk? Because he was
Yeah.
fat?
In pain. He was in pain.
There
I
was a
mean,
lot of
maybe he
pain.
couldn't.
Bone spurs, too much heavy weight on his legs, etc. So they thought he might
I
have
have
been.
to meet this
they
guy.
might. They might have been clipped by some light vehicle or something because he wasn't moving fast enough. Because he was overfed. People are putting constant kibbles down, and kibbles are very fattening, compared to like meats and fish and so forth. So somebody moved him to the side. We heard about it in the afternoon. None of the volunteers, because they were at work, they couldn't do anything till evening. So actually, Dip and I went to pick him up and took him to the vet, and they couldn't find out what was wrong with him. He's not got any
blood
breaks
work is
or
okay.
anything. His
Yeah.
blood work's okay.
So where is he now?
He's adopted.
Yeah. He's a cutie. He's a cutie kasi a ginger, big Garfield-like cat.
Oh my god.
What did he weigh?
5.7 according to the vet. He's the heaviest so far.
I should
Cats of BGC.
okay,
That
I
was
should
admitted.
introduce you to my it's actually Carmine. I adopted it a long time ago. Rusty Rustico. He's a tripod, and guess how much he weighs? Almost 8 kilos.
Oh my.
Overfed.
On 3 legs. Oh my. That's
And
a
just
lot.
3 legs. So can you imagine maybe another kilo if he had another
Oh
leg?
no. Ruff is now on a weight management plan.
Well, so
Yeah.
I was talking to Rusty and I said, "Hey, Rust." He's like, "Meow." He's a very vocal cat. Meow. And it's like, "You're on a diet." Meow.
He's on a purely wet food now with the goal of 4.5 according to the vet. That's his goal weight, so his bone spurs do not
So,
cause him pain.
okay, so if you have community cats, how would you handle like the deworming? Do you still deworm?
Yeah, we do.
We do it ourselves usually because the deworming's easy enough to do
Yeah,
outside.
yeah. So you have like a certain schedule, like, cause me it's like everybody on this certain date, so that it's not, I kind of make it to eventually fall into one date. So that date is just all for deworming of
Yeah.
community cats.
And we can't do that.
They
There's
can't.
too many hundreds.
You know, you have hundreds. How many do you take care of?
It's probably around 300 a day if you add up all the areas that we're feeding and taking care of. So then amongst those, of course, they get older. We see hotspots. We're putting on broadline, making sure that nobody else does. Nobody else giving it this
Yeah.
month. No.
Yeah,
It
there's
takes
a lot
while
of
to
coord-
react.
yeah.
We have to coordinate to make sure, can somebody do this medicine for this cat? This one's looking a bit sneezy. Can anyone give
I mean, this is like a logistics company you
It
run.
is. Yeah, we have one of the adopted cats to be Bruce. He got a double dose of broadline because one meaning a cat carer was not signed up as a fosterer or a feeder with us. Like saw his perhaps he has mange or scratching himself because of fleas. So she applied without telling us and only notified us when we posted the cat as adopted. And she messaged us, just so you know, I applied this to...
Thinking she did a good deed. Thinking
So
she did a good deed.
But the cat got a double dose. So we had to tell the adopter that Bruce got 2 doses of broadline this month. We did not know about this other person that they did it because our feeder who was coordinating with the adoption, getting him off the street for the adopter, also did the broadline.
Yeah.
So far, it's okay. Even if he did get a double dose, tell your vet.
That happened to Tarzan too.
But sometimes broadline's not enough. There was a community cat that got adopted, and we gave an oral. The tapeworm was
Oh my. No.
and thick. I posted it, and
Yeah,
people
yeah,
like,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Because if a portion came out, then After a few days, the other portion came out.
Oh.
And according to Doc Jordan, it's normally very, very long.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
We haven't seen so many tapeworms. We have mostly it's usually the little.
They're like the little pancit
hookworms
ones, yeah,
and,
hookworms.
Roundworms.
Roundworms, yeah.
So those are usually the ones that broadline can cover that mostly.
Yeah. So would you be open to guiding people who would like to start a community group?
We already do.
You already do.
Because people message us, can we just transfer our cats from this community to yours? Of course, no. Just start.
What do you mean
own.
transfer? Like,
As in, move all of their cats to BGC. People are asking that almost every day.
hey, LGU, Doc Alex, Doc Alex, they're doing you a big favor,
Yeah, that's what we also want all the city vets to understand. I mean, the volunteer work that Cats of communities do is already helping the city vet with their expenses, since we are already dealing with all the spay-neuter vaccinations and
Community messages.
Yeah, and for these strays, so there's really no need for you to impound them. So yeah,
I think the gig is gonna try to work on something soon,
Yeah.
because remember they asked for all that info, and I gave it. I found almost every single cat group in Taguig. I got the numbers. I got the numbers of how many were anti-rabies, how many. So I got that out, and I shared it with Doc Alex, and hopefully there can be a meeting, because I was saying that for LGUs, they should really consider having, I think the problem is it depends, each city has an ordinance, but there should be a sponsored spay and neuter for community animals, because in some cities it's like 2 pets per household. They have to be pets, whereas in some cases, they allow when people don't come up, they, when they sign up and they don't, and then I say, okay, you can come now. So there was that time in Taguig, I think.
Yeah.
There's a big, and it helps a lot.
Yeah.
it really is, and people should operate on facts. It's like the WHO already posts on their website. Its information is that 99% of rabies transmission to humans are caused through a rabid dog bite.
Yes.
So it's not really through scratches
cats.
by cats, okay?
Yeah.
So we have to operate based on facts, based on science. So that's really what we want people to understand.
Yeah, so look into the WHO, although...
And the Philippines one as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
DOH.
And yeah, the DOH publishes that on their website as well. They have a specific rabies.doh.gov.ph
Yeah.
that sets a lot of information about the situation locally.
Yeah.
When people do say that, cats are going to be gotten rid of in our area, so can we bring them to you? And we say, no, please start
Your
talking
own.
to your
have a
own property
conversation.
management. You can use all the information we put on our website. We have used Alicat Allies with overseas vacuum effect. It's there. You can use it too. They give it out for free. We've used it. You can use it to explain why getting rid of the cats doesn't ever get rid of the cats, because others just move in to take over the territory.
Yeah.
So if you don't stop the
I have to look for
population,
I have to look for there's a study, $20 million spent on euthanization, catching and euthanization of both cats and dogs, and the country is no better for it.
Yeah, because it doesn't work.
It doesn't work, and
Catch and kill does not work.
It's been done for centuries. If you look at our podcast with Ian Alfonso, Dogs of the Philippines, they've been doing this since 300, 400 years, and we're still with the same problem. 15 million supposed stray dogs, because they don't have the data for the cats.
Yeah. cats are too many to count.
And too
And
difficult.
too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They hide everywhere.
Yeah.
That's why if any catching goes on, they were only able to catch cats that are already friendly and ready for adoption. So it really is like defeats the purpose of what every Cats of Group is doing. If the city vet just keeps on doing the impounding of cats in TNBR sites, so it doesn't
Yeah.
really help.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we do tell people about, we give them, the resources. We tell them, here's where you can find the information about the vacuum effect. You need to set it up like this. I think also Cara has details, Paul's has details. We give them links to all of those.
Yeah,
And-
we're setting up our website now
Yeah.
as well, because it died. We
Yeah.
didn't know it died. It died.
Yeah, it's hard also, like keeping up with the
Oh my
web
God.
No, our
web
website,
info.
Our website needs to be updated with
That's
all
what-
of our positive
We
adoption stories.
do,
It takes
we
time
do
to
so much that we forgot to renew our website.
Yeah, and it's like
And then you're expecting me to answer your message. It's like, before I can answer, it's like so much,
that's
so.
the thing. You need more people helping.
Yeah, but it's very hard to rely on volunteers, which is why I
Yeah.
hire.
Yeah.
It's very hard to rely on volunteers. Some are really wonderful, but it's again another thing that you need to manage, and then something comes up, a birthday, sickness, extra work at
The office, yeah.
in the office.
My boss changed my in-office hours. Can I
Yeah,
change my
you know,
schedule?
so-
Yeah.
Especially with the work we do, we can't rely on volunteers.
We have no choice, so.
Yeah, I know you have no choice. No, but I'd like to, because right now I'm thinking, we gotta settle down first because we're just a year old. But when the time comes, I'm gonna be knocking on your door to for the volunteers, because I really feel like schools could use it.
Right, that was what I was going to say next. An untapped resource is like the young ones. I mean, we're like beyond middle age now, so we are like should be
Way
training
beyond.
way beyond middle age. So we're like, you should be training young people to care as well. Should start at school.
Kate.
Yeah, Kate.
Kate. Yeah. So Kate was thinking it's a possible thing to do in ISM.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, okay, for as long as I want whoever comes to us, I want them to have pre-exposure rabies, because that's all I need. Something, they get bitten or scratched and then the parents freak out.
Yeah.
Right? So some sort of balance.
Yeah.
Again, it's not so
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
We're like encouraging all these schools, because there have been quite a lot of reports lately from the university areas in BGC about unfixed cats that are sick, but we don't really have any access to those areas, and we don't have feeding groups there. We would like the schools to have their own club for
Yeah, well, can be a
cat
club, can be
carers.
a, what do you call those, like extra stuff?
Yeah, that's their extracurricular. Yeah.
And
The
that
school
could
org-
lead up to something later on.
Yeah, they've talked about it. We've got a few school teachers that are part of our volunteer group, so we were like, that's okay, but the two of us are a little too busy to do it.
Yeah,
Could
yeah,
you
I
actually
mean,
take it on?
We were at ISM a few days ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
You started the TNVR Insight. Yay! We're so happy about that. Yeah.
Yeah. UP Techno Hub, one of
Yeah.
our bigger clients.
Yeah, because they have the Cats of Techno Hub, right?
Yeah.
It's within the UP campus,
Yeah.
and they're.
And then we work something, payable when able, and then when their bill is too high, okay, wait. Pay your bill first, because you yourself will be overwhelmed to try to
Yeah.
fundraise and
I saw their call out like a few weeks ago about volunteers for the Philippine National Research Institute, PNRI, which also sits on the campus grounds. And there are cats also like coming in from that area, because it's just
we're
side
gonna
by
try
side.
to do UP. We have
Yeah.
somebody in UP already.
Yeah.
Although they have this balay.
Balay Kaibigan na shelter for
Correct.
adoptables.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to do their dogs soon. But there's one specific engineering student, Hannah. Hannah, I love you. Hannah's Protem. And yeah, so we've been doing quietly a few cats here and there. More than 30 now. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. At least I've seen signs that in the mall part that leads to Ayala Land, they've started
Oh.
TNVR with the post. The signs are up there, have been there for years. So I just was
No,
wondering.
they also with us, huh?
Yeah, why?
You know, we
is it not
quietly do it.
campus wide.
Yeah. We every time we have almost every time we have now murang kapon in Ayala, different Ayala malls all across Luzon. No, some of them ask our help for TNVR, so we've done for Soledad, and we've done for Ayala malls by the Bay. So, and it's really because of Fernando
Yeah.
and Kid. They're really they're some sort of beacon. Yeah. No, not some sort. They
They
are.
are. They
a
are.
beacon. Yeah.
They all visit our events.
Yeah. They're quite wonderful. Yeah. But anyway, a lot of city vets also offer free or low cost kapon, not only in the mass events,
Yes.
right?
And also, increasingly, more vet practices are doing this for the strays, so that's really also helping out. And we were actually going to make a part of our page where we would actually share all the free and low-cost spay and neuters that we come across, but we don't need to because our lovely friends at Cats of Taguig
Cats of Taguig,
Cats-
hi Ezra.
have been doing that for us. And we keep telling people, please follow Cats of Taguig, Libre Murang Capon. You have to pronounce
Murang kapon.
it. Murang
Blah blah
Capon.
blah blah.
Yeah. Cats
Yeah.
of Taguig has a section called Libre Murang Capon, which actually lists all over, not just the metro, but even outside the metro, whenever they see or hear of any low-cost or free spay and neuter events. So please follow them and avail when it's in your area.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
know, so there's Doc Gab, there's Stray Neuter Project, Kaintap Clinic. There's a lot now going on. Woodland, Marikina. So yeah, just follow Cats of Taguig. They post everything. Yeah. So is there a message you want to? Come on,
Yeah.
1, 2. Come on.
Yeah.
Wait, she's a foreigner. She's a foreigner. Claire is a foreigner. She cares more about the Filipino cats than most. So she's got a great heart.
Yeah.
She'll tell you straight out. She's very straightforward. But anyway, go.
Yeah, I mean, I just wish people would actually realize that cats are make a very great and loving pet, and more people would actually adopt. So I would like, if not necessarily for the adopters, I'd like more people to consider that and more buildings to allow it as well, because we have so many people who I really want, but I'm not allowed.
You mean residences?
Yes,
Yeah.
residences, properties, not even just in BGC, but we have
Oh,
people
yes.
adopting from outside of BGC, and they're still like, I can't because the
I'm
building
happy.
won't allow, or the landlord itself just has this thought, no, I don't want to have a pet, no pets. So I wish people would actually, our lives would get a lot easier if more people could adopt. And it's really, a great pet. It's a great stress reliever. Cats have, they purr at that intensity, which actually reduces stress in people. So as long as you're not running the cat group, cats are stress relievers. If you're running the cat group, they're stress givers.
No, more cats then.
The more stress relief, yeah.
Yeah. Michelle.
Ano talaga po, kapon po talaga ang solusyon. Let's spay and neuter our pets and adopt, don't shop. Ganun po talaga. Yeah.
And then one last thing, no? Kapon is for both male and female. Babae o lalaki pwedeng ipakapon. So one thing is, babae or lalaki pwedeng ipakapon. Because kapon is really a more general term for a male. So a lot of people don't realize this.
Yeah, it's
And I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna shock some people, but yes, you can spay abort.
Yes.
That's okay. And yes, you can spay even if the animal is in season. Also, there's a lot of sicknesses right now, so it would be helpful if you would also vaccinate your pets. I mean, anti-rabies is definitely that's not an option. You have to have anti-rabies because we're in a rabies country. However, 4-in-1 is always becomes an option, but please consider 4-in-1 or 5-in-1 for the dogs, and definitely deworm. Yeah. So it's really wonderful to see you again and get this time. Normally we don't have time to talk.
sit
Yeah.
down like this.
Sit down like this because normally we're catching,
running after.
running after a cat, running after this or that, or returning animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really nice to share this time with you. I'd like to thank Ayala Malls for always sponsoring us not only in terms of venues or funding. We don't get much funding, but we get the venues.
Yeah,
So
that's a lot.
that's a big thing, and in return we do your DNVR. But also it's just the energy. I think you would
Yeah.
agree
Yes, definitely.
that our energy gets sucked out of us.
Yeah.
But when somebody else comes in and just leaving a smile or say, okay, how can I help you? That already is such a big, that's petrol in our gas tank.
Also already a blessing even to be allowed to do this, because some properties would not even allow you to do
Yeah.
DNVR. So really grateful for that
Yeah.
in BGC.
And so we share the same kind of ethos of trying to give good news. Although you heard that we had spoken about difficulties and all of that, and it's mostly just to make you all aware. It might look glamorous or exciting, that rescuing, but it's not that glamorous, and we just wanted to make you aware that we're also just humans, and we do the best we can, and any help in your way would be really, really wonderful. Thank you so much. See you later, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us, Biyaya.
No. It's definitely a segment we needed. Hello, mga kabiyaya. Barks and Burps, a podcats, is composed of 3 people. Me, Rina Ortiz.
Albert Gamino.
Alcer Pineda.
We are here to discuss anything under veterinary services, rescues, adoptions, TNVR, animal welfare, responsible pet ownerships. Anything and everything as well in between. Kung nais po ninyong magiging isang biyaya sa aming mga alagang aso't pusa, please comment below or message our Facebook page. We'd love to hear from you. Maraming salamat.